Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. It is Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. It sounds weird coming off the tongue. 2025 is here. President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance have been certified as of yesterday. We talked about that yesterday. We're going to get into some more stuff today. We're going to talk about free speech specifically with Meta, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. I don't know who's still on Threads, but I didn't really think about Threads being a thing. Many of you just decided or just discovered there's a thing called Threads out there. Gonna get into a bunch of stuff, but before we do, I want to remind everybody a couple of things, and you know what I'm going to say. I want you to hit the like button, hit the share button, tell your family and friends about the Chad Prather Show, and I want to welcome those of you who are new to the show because you've discovered us because of our involvement with the Dear America Media Network, DAMN. We're not going to push that, but the Dear America Media we had a great time on the show this morning with Graham and Todd and Royce and myself, and we had a lot of fun. I told you, as promised, we're going to break down the implications of what it all means with this announcement from Mark Zuckerberg, not only adding UFC President and CEO Dana White to the Meta Board of Directors, but what the implications of the little bullet points that they've released and said this is how Meta is going to proceed. Apparently, they're groveling in sackcloth and ashes, deep in repentance and trying to win us back. Will they? I don't know. The jury is out and it remains to be seen. They're going to have to show me and prove some things. And I want to tell you what they need to prove. I want to tell you why they need to prove it and how you need to respond because, yes, you may not be a social media creator. You may not be one of these people that relies on social media professionally, but it still has implications for you, your life, and your family. Okay, so I want to make sure that you understand how we're going to respond to this deal, and I'm at least going to give you my perspective. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to go to where podcasts are offered. That's the place where you listen to them. It could be Apple, it could be Spotify, it could be iHeart. I don't know, but search The Chad Prather Show, and I want you to find the spot where you leave a rating and review. We need 5 stars. That's what we like. It's what we deserve. And then leave us a review. Tell us about the show. Tell us what you think about some of the things we're doing. We still kind of have a new look. Look at this. Look at this guy over my shoulder right here. Look at that. Wow, that's a whole lot of me. And I actually took this to cover up the Dear America neon sign that's back behind it because you know what? This ain't the Dear America show. This ain't Graham Allen. But we got a big show in front of us, and we're going to have a lot of fun on it. I got some friends that I want to bring on here in just 1 second. Before I do, I want to remind you guys that today is the last day for the incredible New Year's sale that they have going on at My Patriot Supply. Let's say the energy grid goes down. Let's say you get a big freeze that comes in. Let's say that the pantry goes bare and you can't run out to the grocery store because everybody's made a run things that are on the shelves. You need to make sure that your family has emergency food, and you need to make sure that you've got an emergency food kit for every member of your family so that everybody gets that 2,000 calories a day that they need. Now, I will tell you, My Patriot Supply is incredible because they not only have the food that will last in proper storage for 25 years, but they have food that's actually good. It tastes good. Now, rarely do you associate macaroni and cheese with the apocalypse, but you never know when zombie land hits. You don't want to if the zombies come and bite on you, make sure they get a well-fed you, okay? So head over to my special website, preparewithchad.com. And if you order by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, for the most part, they're going to ship it out same day. It's going to arrive at your house in discreet packages so your neighbors don't know that you got that emergency food coming in. And it's got the cool little insulated bucket so you can keep that stuff 25 years. And they are America's #1 preparedness supply company. So go to preparewithchad.com. The discount will be built in when you go to my special website, preparewithchad.com. It's a new year. We have no idea when the drones are going to hit us or what's going to happen. The aliens are going to come. And you know what? You want to have a nice meal ready for the aliens when they hit. So go to preparewithchad.com. All right. Royce Chamberlain is in the house. He is the guy that we all rely on. Royce, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. And you know, Chad, you'd never believe it. If you were watching Dear America this morning, you know that I had an issue with the lawnmowers, and I kid you not.
Are they still going?
They've been gone all day, and I think now they decided to come by with the leaf blower, and they're blowing the leaves all over the place. And so if you hear an engine running. I think
I
it's
can
the
hear
leaf
it.
blower outside.
I heard it this morning. And I have that problem as we get later in the week, and so we have the crews that come through and mow the grass. As Nancy Pelosi and the progressives like to say, we have the people that if we have mass deportations, who's going to cut your grass? Well, I can assure you that the people who do cut my grass do not speak English. I've tested and tried it, and they don't know the English. So I'm thankful for them. I mean, I'm glad that they're here cutting the grass. But these guys, they like to do the leaf blower. The leaf blower is the worst, where it goes,
Yeah.
They never just hold on to the trigger so that it's a steady sound. It's like,
They're having fun, I think.
brother, it drives me crazy. I think they take a class when they cross the border of how to hold the trigger on the Husqvarna leaf blower. And I've had these guys walk right up to the door of the building here and just I'm like spending time. I had to get on one time. I DoorDashed some lunch, and the guy was literally leaf blowing my lunch. Blowing, I opened it up. I was like, and he ran off. I don't know if he understood me or not. I was sort of speaking in tongues.
Did he drop the leaf blower, or were you able to collect?
Oh no, these guys are tough. These guys are tough in Texas, man. They can handle it. It's cold here, Royce.
Did you yell, "Get off my lawn"?
I don't know that. Vamonos. Anyway, I don't know. Need to learn that phrase. No, I'm glad for those guys, but they'll come out here and blow stuff when there's nothing to blow, which sort of sounds like one of my relationships. I will say this, Royce. I will say this. It's cold here in Texas. I've got to get on an airplane Thursday. We will have the show. I'm going to pre-tape the show, and I'll do a Chad's Church for Friday. But I got to get on a plane. I'm going to Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm going to Louisville. I will be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We got dismal ticket counts because they have been in an Arctic tundra blast over there, and people are wondering, is the show going to go on? They told me today the shows are going on at Louisville Comedy Club. We'll see. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to go in there. And we're going to see what's up. But it's cold. But right now, it's not supposed to get above freezing in Louisville before Sunday, and more precipitation coming on Friday. So who knows? I may be a resident of Kentucky.
How cold could it possibly get, though?
11
degrees.
Texas.
In Texas, though.
In Texas, it can get, it can get low, but it's just chilly here. Like I went out. I had to run some errands between this morning show and this show. I had to run some errands, and I was cold. And I keep the heat off in the building here because I'm upstairs and the heat rises, and so it gets warm up here. Came in, and my Audi became an innie, if you know what I'm saying. There was definite shrinkage. And so I don't know. It's just I don't do well in the cold, but the older I get, I don't do well in the hot. And if you're watching Dear America this morning, as you know, I had the Tony Starks on right here, and I stunned everybody with the smooth. I look like I called you a dirty Q-tip yesterday. This is a dirty Q-tip.
Chad, rub your head again. Rub your head one more time. Whoa! It's like Genie. Genie's gonna come out.
I've seen better heads on a zit right there. I've seen better boils on a butt. I'm not gonna lie to you. But it's nice and cool. It's slick. I don't care. I've done it. It's like a little peach fuzz to it, but I don't care. People say put the hat back on.
It's a good look.
I don't know about that, but I don't care.
Well, you know what? Now you can experiment with wigs. Have you thought about that?
Steve, Party Foul Steve, if you would you step over here, please, and reach behind that little silver shield right there that's up against the thing. And I want you to toss me a couple of things you find back there. It's not a snake. It won't bite you. But, yeah, give me that right there. That's a terrible throw. Hang on.
Are we going to get Chad in a wig right now?
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Everybody that knows me knows. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of characters in the Chad universe. And
Chad Bieber.
Look at that right there.
Oh, yeah. Look at that, man. You rock it, too.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not done.
This looks like if you showed me like your high school photo or something.
I know. I didn't have this much hair in high school.
Ooh, there it is.
Look at this. Right
oh, jeez.
Nobody wants to take this seriously.
Let me get a screenshot of this really quick.
Yeah.
Oh, and got it. There it is.
Throw me that one over there, Steve. We got a lot of. There's a lot of characters. there's a lot.
You should start doing every show with a different wig on, man.
I know there's a lot of characters. I'm going to go back. I'm going to set up the green screen in the other studio. I'm going to go back to some of my characters, like my news guy, my little gay Tadpopopopoulos, with his little vagina hat on.
Oh my God!
But this is a smooth look right here.
Oh yeah,
like I could pull this off. I could cruise the Woodlands, Texas, and pick some chicks up. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go. I do look like MacGruber. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, it's my preacher hair right here.
It does look like that, man.
Kind of my
That's a
preacher hair.
different look for sure.
That's Harold Swindle right there. That's the Reverend Harold B. Swindle. Oh, give thy profits for the profit, my friend. But yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So, oh gosh. Oh man, I tell you what, we need to bring Harold Swindle back as well. I love that character. That pissed a lot of people off when I used to do Harold Swindle, because people thought I was there. You're being sacrilegious. No, I'm making fun of the TV preachers, and I don't think they hold a special place in God's heart. I just don't. Not all, maybe not all of them, but most of them do not hold a special place in God's heart. I don't need Gucci shoe wearing, Rolex wearing, diamond ring preachers
Private
telling
jet
me,
buying.
yeah, $65 million jet. God don't want me on a model airplane, a twin prop. He wants me on that G6. So, yeah, there we go. I like what you said there. Is that my moose 80s porn director? I like that. So funny. It's like you people know me at this point. No, there's a lot of wigs. There's a lot of wigs around this house. I've had people who have come in and done work around the house or come into the studio, and I'm like, don't. I've had guests. Like, I've had a lot of very dignified guests come in here, and I'm like, don't mind the wigs. It's I'm not Jeffrey Dahmer. There's not a head in the refrigerator.
Tripping on wigs.
Yeah, there's not any of that stuff. All right, let's bring on our special guest, because I want to get into this conversation and talk about it. It's a lot of fun, man. The man that I love to mess with, he's one of my buddies. He's one of my best friends, and he's been a pleasure to know. And I appreciate so much the content that he puts out. He's got a new song out, and he's been heavily throttled by social media for pretty obvious reasons, because this is... Royce, I'll tell you this before I introduce him again. I bring him back on the show. He's no stranger. But I will tell you, Royce, when they said they're going to get rid of the independent fact checkers, I think that what they meant by that was the I Hate Conservative group. They were getting rid of the I Hate Conservative group. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's bring him on, our buddy, your buddy. Everybody knows him, Mr. Sky Corbin. Everybody's Sky Corbin. Guy Corbin.
I don't know how I'm going to follow the pompadour.
So that's a lot going on.
Wait, you don't have wigs sitting all over your house?
There's no... Yeah.
Not for the same reasons as Chad.
Nah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you guys can follow at the Sky _ is at Sky _ Corbin, right?
The
You're talking
truth
about on which?
Sky Corbin.
At Sky Corbin? Because you've got a couple of them, don't you, Sky?
Yes, so the one on X, I don't have a lot of followers on X, but I'm going to try to incorporate that more this year. That's my resolution. But that is Sky Corbin _ truth. And then for Instagram, it's
truth. That's what I meant.
The truth Sky Corbin on Instagram, which is primarily my account. I like the way Instagram functions.
Yeah, we'll sort that one out. Follow Sky's wife. That's a fun follow on Instagram. One of my favorites.
She's sweet.
She's a sweetheart. I love your wife, Nicole. She's amazing. I was there when y'all met. So I was there when you met. Anyway, I love her. And but
he
anyway,
brought us together.
I don't know about that. I think it was the Lord. I was just there. But I will say this:
it's like Cupid, Chad.
We've. I'm a matchmaker, dude. I'm a matchmaker. I'm a not tire. Okay, so we've been throttled forever on social media. Sky, you and I were talking about it yesterday. You got the new song out. It's the Trump anthem, MAGA anthem. Mm-hmm. Is that right, MAGA anthem?
MAGA anthem, yeah.
You and I was so impressed with the video and the song that I said, you know what? I said, who did this animation for you? And you said everything on this that exists was me.
Correct.
And I was like, can we play a little bit of this? Just let her rip. I mean, from the top. I love this thing. this is an earworm. I found myself late last night going, Trump. And just like there was a camera in front of me, I was going, Trump.
It's fun. It was fun to do. It was really fun.
It looks meticulous, but you wrote the song. This is a rap. You wrote the rap. You did the rap. You performed it. You did all of this. You did the video. You to use your words, you did a response video to it. You spent, 4 days making this, only to put it on social media and crap.
Throttled.
Nothing. I mean, nothing. Nobody gets to see it. So let's play it. Let's enjoy this for a minute. Let's do this. I need everybody in the chat saying rap, R-A-P rap. Come on.
2, 3, you ready? Ready for this conversation? It's time for the inauguration. You heard from CNN Harris would win, so grab the remote and change the station. A liberal imagination, a MAGA trying to save the nation. You don't like the flag, news flash, you can pack your bags and move to Asia. So sick of the men in dresses. Yes, there were only 2 sexes. You think you're keeping us guessing and teaching us lessons, but I got a message. It comes straight from the source. His name is the Lord. It's only man and woman, a type of human since the beginning, of course. Trump. The popular vote. Trump. You know he's the GOAT. Trump. And you know the quote, make America great again, let's go. Trump. The popular vote. Trump. You know he's the GOAT. Trump. And you know the quote, make America great again, let's go. Doctors can't be chopping off the penises of minors. Physicians, not designers. It's present time for the crime. It's apples and oranges, lemons and limes. You keep in the pulp, you changing the rhyme. Put an end to this madness. You don't see it, get some glasses. The patient's been running the asylum and it's getting violent. They calling us fascists? Well, you gotta change your vocabulary. Why? Because it's necessary. My pronouns are Zer. Let me stop you right there, sir. Get a dictionary. You don't get to change your language because you got some baggage and your daddy didn't spank you enough. The Constitution is the solution. Freedom of speech, bitch. Now it's time for Trump. The popular vote. Trump. You know he's the GOAT. Trump. And you know the quote, make America great again, let's go. Trump. The popular vote. Trump. You know he's the GOAT. Trump. And you know the quote, make America great again, let's go. It's time for a new chapter.
All right, let's go right there. Dude, phenomenal job.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah. Everybody go to my Instagram, watch the video, and share it.
Yeah, I mean, the lyrics of it, I don't know how well they translated through the, everybody, how well they could hear it through their audio or whatever.
It's great, but I get why it was throttled. Like, it's the exact thing that they would throttle. You know what I'm saying?
This is why I said, Sky, I want you to come on the show, because this is the type of thing that has been throttled. I mean, what you said in there, not untrue. Yep. You've got faith in the thing. You talk about you can't cut off your penises and this kind of stuff. Why can't we have that conversation if this is a public square? And again, I want to preface everything of saying I don't like Zuckerberg. I don't forgive Zuckerberg. I'm not letting Zuckerberg off the hook. I will also say I understand that when we say free speech, we know that free speech is something that it can't be regulated by the government. The First Amendment is about the government regulating your free speech. We can make an argument that Facebook has received a lot of government subsidies, and therefore they shouldn't be throttling. And there's been a lot of deals before Congress that have come up, but that by and large, that's not the argument or the issue we're going to deal with in this episode, okay? Let me tell you about throttling. In 2017, January 27th, to be specific, just a few days after Trump's inauguration, they decided that there was this thing called Cambridge Analytica, that there was this Russian collusion, that Russians had supposedly taken out Facebook ads. And, they were all across the globe, anybody that was discussing politics or trying to push campaign events. You couldn't even say we're having a party because there was a politician in Italy who started calling his campaign events parties, and they started throttling the word party. Now, when they decided to throttle us, and I can pinpoint exactly in the day that they did it, my old site, it doesn't exist anymore. There's no point in it existing because they throttled it and censored it so bad. But the old politicalcowboy.com on January 27th, 2017, because it was driven by Facebook. It was a WordPress site driven by Facebook. If I made the post on Facebook, my millions of followers saw it. They went and they read the article. It was not inundated with ads like so many things are these days. We went from 750,000, that's 750,000 independent, unique visitors a day to politicalcowboy.com, down to 3,500. We literally lost 750,000. We lost everything in the space of one decision, one click of the button. I was having dinner a couple of months ago in San Antonio with my friend who is the executive liaison for conservative matters with Meta. You wouldn't believe that exists, but it does. He's a very good guy. Don Jr. connected us, and he's a super good dude. And he said at dinner, he said, "What can I do for you?" I said, "I want you to go find the algorithm button. I want you to click it and reset everything." And he goes, "I wish that button existed." And I said, "It does exist. You're just not important enough to go push it." I said, "So we got to figure out where that button is, because right now, Facebook, when I have millions of people who follow me, and they can't see the stuff that I'm putting out. And every time I go out in public, I'll be in Louisville this weekend, and people will walk up to me and they will say, and I know because it happens every time I'm in public, 'We miss you doing the truck rants and the Facebook pokes.'" I still will occasionally do them, but it's pointless to do them because you can't see them. I used to do a Facebook poke, get millions and millions and millions of views, millions and millions of shares. Now I put it out, it does good to get 100,000 views, which probably only lasted 3 to 10 seconds anyway. So everything has been throttled. I showed the graphs to this executive with Facebook. I showed the graphs, and he said, "This doesn't make sense." And I said, "This is the problem with Meta. They've throttled everybody. And the reason it should piss you off is you, and I'm talking to the audience out there, you clicked a button at one point in time in your life that said, 'I like Chad Prather's content. I want to follow Chad Prather's content. I want to receive that content, and I should have access to it.' The fact that they don't allow you to do that, can you imagine if you subscribed to, I don't know, Playboy magazine and you only got 3 issues? That would piss you off. Like, I paid for the subscription. Where's my stuff? Where's my Cosmo? Where's my Vogue? Where's my Vanity Fair? If I get Amazon Prime and I pay for it every month, I should be able to get all of the programming. If I'm only getting 10% of the programming, then I'm the one that's getting hosed. And so that right there is a violation of people's of their rights. It just really is. And so here we are. Mark Zuckerberg comes out. And this same executive, he reached out to me, he reached out to Graham Allen. He said, "You're going to love what's going to happen next week. You're really going to like it. I'll give you the details as they come out." And so they came out. The first thing they did, they added 3 new board members, not the least of which is the CEO and president of UFC, Dana White. I don't like everything about Dana White, but I don't like everything about everybody. But at least he has been an advocate for free speech. And he's a guy that, he certainly is right-leaning in his persuasions. And I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg apparently maybe rolling around on the floor with grown men, a little bit of that testosterone has rubbed off on him as he's engaged in more MMA and Brazilian jiu-jitsu stuff. Maybe his balls finally dropped. I don't know. But something has happened. I will tell you later what actually is happening, but maybe he's found his man juice a little bit, and we're starting to see the results of that. I don't quite think that's the reality, but it is fun to say out loud. Sky, you are reasonably new to the game in terms of having a big following. In the last couple of years, I found your content, and I reached out to you, and I said, Brooke Sands. It was Brooke Sands that turned me on to you. My old friend Brooke Sands, she is the one who said, "You need to pay attention to this guy." And I did, and I immediately fell in love with you. Yeah. I mean, you know what? When you got hot girls, hot models that are telling you, pushing you to go follow, when they're promoting you, that's a good thing, brother.
Thank you.
But tell me kind of your journey of the censorship game. because you kind of popped off, and then what happened with you? Because you came
You
in,
are speaking my language.
yeah, it just we've all experienced it, whether it was recent or a long term deal. What did you see?
So what people don't know about me is I went to school for computer science, hotty toddy. And so
Ole Miss, baby.
I understand this algorithm system. And you know the date of yours. I know the date of mine. Mine was
Yeah.
May 2nd of 2023 because I was gaining probably 10,000 followers a week, tick, 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 like just so fast because I was saying stuff most people wouldn't say. It was in the cancel culture time. And instantly on May 2nd, I made a video about Taylor Swift. I shouldn't have touched Taylor Swift, but that
Yeah.
day, no more followers. I gain them, but they remove the same amount of followers as I get. If I gain 1,000, I lose 1,000. If I gain 300, I lose 300. They claim they don't do that, but why is it always exact? You would think some days I would lose 1,000 and gain 300. It's always the exact number that I gain. So my number has never moved. And then my video started being throttled. It was like they would get more shares than the videos that got 100,000 views. They would get more shares, but 10% of the views. And I'm like, how is that even possible if I'm getting double the shares but only 10% of the views that got shared? So I understand that there is a button that exists that they say this guy's had enough. He no longer gets to grow. And I gained 70,000 followers in my first 3 months, and I'm at 76 a year and a half later. So it killed me. And but I understand that they have a system that they put in place. And they can make whatever excuses that they want to, that it's by accident, but it can't be by accident if it's strategically the same people.
Yeah, it doesn't
They're
make
spitting
sense.
the same language. Yeah, that's not by accident. That's intentional. But I didn't give up. I continued to push through the best I can because, like you said, there are 76,000 people that manually selected to follow me, and my obligation is to those people, not the people that haven't.
Yeah.
And so no matter if I have 1 follower or 1,000,000 followers, I'm always going to make the same videos and say the same thing because I owe that respect to whoever followed me.
Yeah. And see, I'm suspicious of anybody, particularly in the billionaire class. I'll just rant on this for a second. It's amazing to me that even with the election of Donald Trump, how quickly we are all eager to trade one side of billionaire class for another side of billionaire class. That's disturbing to me. So we go from the Soros puppets to the MAGA puppets, and I'm just free thinking. I'm just free speaking here. We all start looking for these billionaires to bail us out. So everybody put Elon Musk up on a pedestal. I have never fully supported Elon Musk. I appreciate his contribution and what he did, but I don't trust a person of influence that continually inserts themselves in the middle of the conversation because at the end of the day, they're looking out for number one. We've seen the benefits that Elon Musk has gotten. Now, he put himself at a great risk because had Kamala Harris won, there's a good chance he might have been put in jail. I mean, you don't know, but he certainly suspected that. So these guys that suddenly just kind of flip the switch and say, oh, it's more socially expedient and business advantageous for me to now flip a little bit, those people, I'm wary of those people. We're seeing that now with Elon Musk, who on X has started saying, well, you should only accept replies from people who are verified. Absolutely not. That'll be something that I never do. If you follow me, you can talk to me. Now again, you send me messages, so sometimes they go in the spam folder and I don't see them because I get people from time to time and say, you never respond. Well, I can't respond to what I don't see. So there's that. But, and Elon is doing a couple of things, which like this social score that he's putting on X, which that's not cool with me, and saying we need to post more positive things. I mean, me telling somebody to kiss my ass is reasonably positive in my world. Like, I'm a fan of telling somebody where they can go. I believe in a visceral response and a good. I put in Grok the other day on X. I said, "Is X aware that @WatchChad is the account of a professional stand-up comedian?" And it was interesting to read the response that came back. And they said, "But yet still, your satire, which could be interpreted as humor, could be perceived as a negative in a negative connotation." So, I don't trust any of that stuff. You start scoring me or putting me on a list, it makes my cockles stand up, right? Makes
Hot.
it makes the hair on the back of my head, the non-existent hair on my head, stand up. So it makes me nervous. So let's analyze what Zuckerberg said, and then we'll talk about. Let me preface this by saying I know that many of you who are listening to this, some of you jumped over to Rumble, some of you jumped over to X when Elon took over, some of you went to Truth Social, you've gone to Parler, you put your money where your mouth is. I highly respect that. And you've said, I'm never doing Facebook again, never doing fake book, never doing FUK book. I'm never doing any of that stuff. I'm only going to go to these independently on. Listen, I will just tell you that all of them have their issues, okay? And I get the fact that you took off and you went to another platform and you said, I'm never doing YouTube again and I'm only going to do Rumble. I'm fine. I appreciate the stretch of the imagination it might require for me to say, be careful because you might be able to use these platforms again. And a lot of you are like, nope, I said I was boycotting the NFL, and by God, I'm boycotting the NFL. Screw Colin Kaepernick. Like, I'm done with him. Like, I get that. You made your decision. I highly respect it, but I still want to make a case for a couple of things, okay? So, in TX Country Girl, that might be your accent. Okay, I don't know. It could be. But let's put up the bullet points, Royce. Here's basically what here's what Meta released. And you got to remember, I'm the guy that sued Facebook back in that late February of 2022 in the state of Texas and won. I'm the only person in the state of Texas to ever sue them and win. So they're going to replace the third-party fact-check program with in the U.S. with community notes model. That's a positive thing. They're going to lift the restrictions. Can you raise that up? I got a camera in my way. Is there a way to raise that up? Can't scroll it, can we? Lift restrictions on certain topics. So that means, Royce, you like to correct us a lot of times. Like I love the fact that in our group chat, Graham on the show once called Washington, Oregon, and California America's schlong. And if you look at it, you can't unsee it. See, Royce already doesn't like that because he's afraid we're going to get hit on. You're muted, Royce. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
My bad.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Facebook's coming out and saying like, hey, we're going to lift these restrictions and stuff. YouTube still is not.
YouTube is still not.
YouTube is still being real stubborn. And
Yeah.
you say stuff like that, and they're gonna say, oh, this is inappropriate.
My argument is I see some stuff on YouTube that is absolutely atrocious, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, so I brought up, Sky, you could tell me to go away on this, but I brought up Sky's beautiful, lovely, amazing, huge-hearted wife.
This is why I don't fit in the conservative market as well as people think I do.
Because Sky and Nicole have a couple of pages on Instagram with his wife, where Nicole, let's just say she's
pretty.
She's a beautiful girl, and she has a derriere that was gifted to her by Zeus's lightning bolt, if you will. She was touched by the gods on Olympus, and I asked Sky a while back. I said, "How do y'all get away with some of the things that are on those pages?" And you said,
I don't remember what it said.
Basically, you said we went through the terms of service.
Oh, yeah, I read them.
Yeah, you actually read them, because most people don't.
They don't read them. And they allow for whatever you want to put, just as long as it's not sexually oriented.
Not sexually oriented, which, again, is a matter that's open to interpretation.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
But I see some things, like on Instagram, you got to be careful, because the algorithm is listening. And you got to be careful. Sometimes Instagram, you get on your stories or your reels or whatever, it will throw some things your way that you don't know how. Like, you've got women breastfeeding. You've got some pretty strong.
Which that goes with the guidelines, because it's not.
It's
sexual.
not sexual. Now, there
Correct.
might be some people out there who would perceive just this fact that there's a naked female breast on there
Correct.
as being sexual. So again, it's open to interpretation. And this is the problem we have fallen into, is Party Foul Steve says cracking a walnut with your ass is not sexual. Some people might think it is. I'm sure there's a nut-based vegan out there that is all about
what
that.
It is. That's impressive.
I mean, if you can crack that walnut, I mean, forget bouncing a quarter off of it, dude. But again, it's open to interpretation. So they say they're going to lift restrictions on certain topics. I don't necessarily know what those certain topics are, but we'll see. Now, you got automated systems, which will now focus on illegal, high-severity violations. So obviously, I think you can imagine what that would be. That could be trafficking. That could be content that involves children. Anything that could be violence, murderous acts, things like that. But again, our poor children, our kids and our grandkids have seen everything there is to see because of the dang internet. Scroll it up just a little bit there, Royce, if you can. And we're going to remove the reduction of political content, okay? So if you go to my page, Real Chad Prather, I have 4 main Facebook pages. People ask me why. For things that we've had to fight for the last 10 years. That's why I have them. I have a personal profile, has 1.5 million followers. I have a page that has about 1 million followers, Chad Prather Blue Check Verified. I'm the only Blue Check Verified personal page of anybody I've ever seen in my life. But I have 2 Blue Check Verified pages. Then I have Real Chad Prather, which used to be Political Cowboy. It's got 1.3 million followers on it. But they throttled it so bad, I mean, I wasn't getting 7 likes on a post. And then we've got the Chad Prather Show, which is the smallest of the pages. It's the newest of the pages. And we have it because the algorithms kept changing so much. If I want to put out anything that is perceived as cultural or political content, we were going to get throttled, all right? And that's just the nature of what I do. So removing the reduction of political content, they even had a thing for a while where you had to go in and check a box on Instagram if you were okay with political content. Again, you're not so lazy that you can't scroll past it or hit the X. And you know what's frustrating to me, Sky, is how many hundreds of people impersonate me on social media or claim to be my representative or my manager or somebody that, I've created a Telegram channel so I could chat personally with fans. First of all, if somebody sends you a post and says, Chad wants to connect with his fans, I don't call people fans. I don't. You're my friend.
No, that's my language, and I'm the one doing the impersonations. Send your checks to...
these are Nigerians. They call them the Yahoo Boys. These are Nigerians. They're running billion-dollar scams. It puts money back in the pocket of Mark Zuckerberg. Somebody texted me yesterday and said, why do these, what do people get out of these scammers? I've had women show up at my live shows thinking that they're in a relationship with me because they've been chatting with a bot online for 2 months. I've had people that have been scammed out of $8,000, $12,000, $16,000, all the way up to $25,000. I mean, it's crazy that people fall for this stuff, but they do. So if we're going to truly clean up Facebook, let's clean the thing up. So, Mark Zuckerberg, he sees something that's politically and commercially advantageous. He jumps on it because at the end of the day, he's a cuck. And he's going to do this. He is the epitome of weak, soy, limp-wristed beta male. And if he's walking down the street with his buddy, they probably got their hands in each other's pockets. I don't know. But let me make this case. If there is a platform that says we're willing to play ball, and by the way, I think Zuckerberg should be in jail for his involvement in the 2020 election. The way that he interfered with the election, I truly think he should be in prison. This guy's doing everything he can. We don't know what the end result that would be. I'm not letting him off the hook, but I will say, if there's an opportunity to use a platform that could be advantageous to get a message out there, I make the argument that it should be used. There are still 2 billion people out there on Facebook. It's still the biggest platform. And there's a lot of people who are on there who don't know what's going on. They don't even know this debate is being had. Those people are worthy of being reached. I think that we should still reach them. Now, people like Graham Allen, people like myself, Sky, who has done it in his own way, I've been in the trenches for over 10 years now. fighting these social media platforms. Yes, it's been a loss of income. I don't foresee that type of income coming back. But I tell you what, if I tell you that I'm going to be in Louisville, Kentucky this weekend to do a comedy show, I should have the ability to do that without it being completely throttled from telling you that, unless I pay Facebook an ad fee in order for you to get that message amplified
Seems
in
like
your
a
deal.
conflict of interest, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Because at the end of the day, you chose to subscribe to my information. But they want to make money off of that. So, I get it. It's a free market economy, and they can do that kind of thing. But we're up against a whole lot of stuff. And I will say this. We all did not believe Elon Musk when he bought Twitter. And he came in and said he was going to change it. He fired 90% of the people who were there, made it more efficient, opened it up to free speech. And what do we get? We get Donald Trump, who is a podcast presidency. 2016, Royce, you made the point this morning. It was very, very profound. And you can expand on this. But 2016, the first Trump administration, that was an internet presidency as well. What did you mean by that?
Well, Trump obviously in 2024 made a shift toward podcasts. Why podcasts? Well, because they're growing popularity. In 2016, he did the same thing, unlike any other political, anyone running for president. He made a shift towards social media, which is something that nobody had ever done. And It worked. It won him the presidency with the power of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and anything else that was out at the time. He won the presidency because of that. And then almost immediately, he was removed off of all of those platforms. And those platforms became extremely censored towards people who talked about the MAGA movement or anything conservative in that matter. And I was just kind of making the point that I was excited because in 2016, we had 4 years of Trump with endless censorship. And now in 2024, we're going to have 4 more years of Trump with no censorship. What is that going to be like?
We hope.
We hope. That's the direction that things are going. But what is that going to look like? Is that going to slingshot us for the next 8, 12 years of Republican presidents, hopefully? Us having the House and the Senate and keeping control because we're able to give people the truth and give people kind of open up the door to, hey, this is really what's going on here. That was being shut out in 2016 through 2020.
Here's the thing. Let's hope. This is a tough conundrum here because you have this sort of excuse apology by Zuckerberg that came out about, it's accidents and it's not intentional. We hope to change because I'm always about freedom of speech. Do you think the first year is just going to be the direct opposite and a counteract of saying, see, we are sorry, and just overly promoting conservative and just becoming the opposite of the evil, like just another evil, but on the conservative side, which I'm, obviously I'm okay with that.
Selfishly, I'll take it for a little while.
I actually think it very much could be because all of these big name CEOs are butt kissing right now. You're seeing The Rock, who was super liberal and all this stuff, and now he's taking a step back, and he even talked about Trump at the UFC and all this different stuff. They know that they poked the bear, and he's not happy, and now he's back in office, and Daddy caught you with your hand in the cookie jar, and so you got to take a side.
Claim? But does that make their claim legitimate that he's a dictator? And then there's that, because when it counteracts and then conservatives are being pushed and liberals are being suppressed and it's the opposite, doesn't that just give them more ammo?
I don't want to, sorry, but I don't want to suppress liberals at all.
I don't either.
Actually, I think that we should elevate them just as much as the conservative party, because then people will see for themselves the complete contrast and the insanity of what they're posting.
But I don't think that's the world we're going to live in. I think it's going to be one censor or the other. I don't think it's ever just going to be open.
I will tell you this. I know a lot of people that identify as leftists, as progressives, and they would argue the same things that we say about censorship. They make the same argument that they've been censored. In fact, I've heard many of them who have said over the last couple of years, they're like, oh, conservatives, you can put anything out if you're conservative and it doesn't get throttled, but we're getting throttled. So there's a lot of them out there that perceive that they too have been censored already.
They've not been censored, they've been overshadowed. It's too big to rig. That's my
theory.
That.
Great point.
Here's my theory. I have a lot of followers that have like maybe 200 followers that follow their account, and they're like, I can't get any. I'm being censored, and I'm like, when you're on a different level, that's like saying someone who's addicted to biting his fingernails, like, I know addiction to a heroin user. It's like eventually there's a difference. Like, Chad, censorship. I know censorship. The people that I deal with on a continuous basis, they deal with censorship at the top. When you have 200 followers, that's not censorship. That's just you not putting out good content a lot of the times. I think
you're just not good at it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people, even on the left and the right, just say things to be in the group. Oh yeah, that's shadow ban that's got me. I'm like, you have 7 posts.
Yeah.
So,
and I will say, I've lost a lot. I've lost a lot of revenue. I've lost a lot of opportunity. I've hung in there. There's a lot of people who haven't. I think if this censorship is truly lifted, there's a lot of people that you used to follow and hear and listen to, that you used to see them pop up all the time, and you forgot they exist at this point. There'll be people like me who just forgot they existed, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, oh my God, where have you been? I haven't seen you in 5 years. You're going to start seeing some of that because these people are going to come back. Steve, will you come over here and rub your finger across this mouse on this laptop right quick? The beginning of that sentence sounded kinky.
Yeah, I was about to say, what do you have in him?
What are you pointing at?
It sounded kinky, but it wasn't. It was just, I don't want you to come rub my mouse, but I want you to rub my mouse pad. It's a little different.
It doesn't work still.
I know.
It's still not good, man.
Still in there.
Sounds like a hygienical product now.
My screen went blank there. But I will say there's going to be people that are going to suddenly show back up on your timeline that haven't. I hope that's true. I don't want to censor anybody. I don't want to throttle anybody. I don't want preferential treatment. I just want the people that have chosen to follow me over the years to be able to see my content again. We've all been through this thing. And everybody says, oh, yeah, you guys just want to cash in on social media. Yes, we do. 100%. We certainly do. And you would too. You would want to do it as well. If you've worked your butt off to earn something, then you would want to make the money that you could make from it as well. Now, that's not the sole reason, and I'll get into the other reasons as well. But getting paid for what you work on is not, that's American. That's as American as it gets. Now, you might not approve of what I do as a choice of vocation, but that's between you and God, because I don't care. Now, what I've chosen to do, and if you think what I do is easy, then why isn't everybody doing it? Because everybody could have a successful show or a successful tour or a successful social media program. You could have your emails inundated with people who are wanting to do business with you all the time, having to vet that. If it were easy to do, like if it was easy to sell somebody's product, then everybody could do it. At the end of the day, I'm not a content creator. I'm not a social media influencer. I'm a salesman. Okay, I have products and I'm trying to sell them. One of the vehicles that we all use today in business in America, you want to sell a product, you got to be on social media. I don't care if you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, or whatever, MySpace. You got to be on social media, and you got to be on all the social medias if you're going to sell a product. So at the end of the day, I'm a salesperson and I'm trying to sell. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to hang a shingle out and make you give me some kind of kudos and wow, Chad's amazing. I'm not, man. You know, for those of you who don't know, on Facebook right now, the biggest primary thing that I've been putting out is my journeys the journey that I've been taking with God specifically in my life. Now, it's the same journey I've been on for, 30 some odd years, 40 years, but now I'm being more publicly vocal about it. Facebook has been very rewarding in regards to my daily prayers that I'm posting out there. X has been very positive because apparently praying is positive and Elon wants positive. Putting stuff out there. And by the way, guys, I'm not suicidal. If you're reading my Facebook, you don't have to send me a wellness check. I promise you I'm okay. I live alone. I'm deep in my thoughts a lot. I meditate a bunch. And sometimes I post the things that I'm learning. I'm putting it out there because it might inspire or encourage you. It's not me telling you like you're my therapist that I need you to call me or text me. Thank you for it. I praise God for the people who care about you, but I'm okay. All right. So I just let that stand out there. But I will say the other reason that it's important that we focus on this is not because it's a free market and you can go out there entrepreneurial and engage in enterprise and make money, but it matters because you have a platform. Even if, as Sky says, you just have 200 followers, there's still people who listen to you. There's
Correct.
still the ability for you to influence other people and change their mind or show them a better way or have a discussion. And you know what? Maybe you can be sharpened by them as well. You know, I'm looking at the live chat here. I always love it when Striker J speaks up. I love it when Pickled Squirrel speaks up. I love it when my buddy's not on here, K-Dub, Kevin Wade speaks up. You know, all the different friends that we've got on here, you know, and I could list all my Fact Pack people. You know, all of you guys. I appreciate you because iron sharpens iron and it helps me. But, you know, this is all about the transference of ideas. One of the reasons where I don't foresee that I'll ever stop going out and standing on a stage in front of a live audience is because that's the free transference of ideas. There's no algorithm. There's no net. There's no firewall. There's nothing blocking me from giving you my ideas because it's you and me, and there's no chicken wire between us, and we're just talking. And so that's why I love doing the live shows. Zuckerberg, I think he's evil to his core. I think he's wicked. I think the guy's nefarious. I don't trust him as far as his girlfriend or his wife, you know, his Asian wife could throw him. But here we are. Here we are. Sky, what do you think he's going to stand by this? Do you think it'll happen? I mean, I know what we hope.
I think people from Silicon Valley are more intelligent than we give them credit for, and they
Fair.
will always find a loophole that they can get away with. The fact checkers. Okay, are they fact checkers? No, they manipulated the fact checking. So what's to say they can't manipulate community notes? I mean, it's which community are you talking about? You're talking about you're going to manipulate that community and be a part of that community yourself. So they will always find a way. However, I think in this regard, for the next year, I think it's going to be an overcompensation to say, look, see, we are. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Well, really quick, what I find to be optimistic about this whole thing is how Zuckerberg literally straight up compared the changes that they're making to X,
Agreed.
one of the most free speech platforms. And you were talking about the fact checkers, like, you know, what if they manipulate it? I hope they don't. And it doesn't sound like they can, especially since Zuckerberg pointed out that it's going to be community notes. And if you do get community noted, it's not going to affect your post. It'll just be there for people to see. So ideally, there will be nothing that they can do because there's nothing that they can manipulate to get a post taken down.
But those are just words, though. Like, we won't do anything. Those are just words.
Well, yes, I see what you're saying. But
yeah,
I
they
think
also
we'll pick
said
up on
before that they weren't doing it before, too. So words are just words. It's actions that mean something. Anybody could say anything. Yeah.
True. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right?
Right.
So as it stands right now, and I reached out to that executive contact, and again, I blow his phone up because you know what? If the way I look at it, guys, Meta owes me. They owe me. I built something. I was an integral part to your platform for a lot of years. I brought a lot of traffic to you, and then you decided to throttle me. Like, you kicked me out of the house just for talking about things that I cared about. I wasn't engaged in hate speech or anything else, but you guys throttled me. You penalized me for having an open conversation in a place where we should have free speech and the free market of ideas. So I've hammered these guys. So, like, if they elevate us on the conservative side to get more attention in the algorithm, because I think you owe me. Like, I truly do. 750,000 unique website visitors a day down to 3,500 on Political Cowboy.
Yeah,
no. You owe me.
That wasn't organic.
No. You shut off the valve. You starved me out. Now, I hung in there like a hare in a biscuit, and I stuck it out, and I was here. And when people were going, why are you still doing it? You don't get as many views anymore. I mean, you realize I got views. Before the shutdown in 2017, 18, and then COVID was the damn cherry on top of the icing on the rice, on the sheep, in the snowstorm, on the whatever. It was terrible, man. COVID tore everything up on the algorithms because you couldn't talk about anything, couldn't mention certain words, couldn't talk about ivermectin, couldn't talk about vaccines, couldn't even mention the word COVID, couldn't talk about an injection, couldn't talk about anything. And they throttled everything. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I hung in there, man. I hung in there and kept on pushing through. I spend a lot of money with Meta every year to run advertisements, to go out and do live shows. I'm not going to tell you what that amount is, but it's a lot. And, you know,
More than you should.
a lot more than I should.
For the
I know
followers
there's
that
people,
you have, yeah.
and I see
Right,
people.
that's true. Yeah, that's
I
true.
see people in the live chat. See people in the live chat who say, when I scroll down the feed, all I see is ads anymore. That's right. That's because it's become the platform that has required people to promote their stuff by using ads. I have people who use my platforms, and by the way, I don't make a dime off of it. I have good friends, JM4 Tactical out in Abilene, Texas, that make the magnetic holsters, the only true magnetic holster that's out on the market. I give them access to my Facebook pages to run ads through it. They don't give me a dime. You know why? Because I'm a good person, and I believe in their product, and they're good friends. They're good American-made products. They're good people, and I'm like, you know what? Use my page to advertise. It's not showing up in my timeline, but you see me on there using that holster, and people are like, oh, dang, Chad's running ads. I have nothing to do with it. I have nothing to do with it. But they've created an environment whereby the ads have to exist. And so then what you have, see, we used to make money off of Meta. Everybody can make money off of social media if you do it right. Everybody can make a little bit of money. But here's the thing. Now we'll put those ads on there. People call them, or we'll put those articles on there. And people say, oh, it's clickbait. No, understand what clickbait is, first of all. Clickbait is when you click on it and it's something completely different.
Different than what you thought.
From what you thought it was going to be, what the headline said it was going to be. That's clickbait. Now, just because you see a lot of pop-ups and ads that happen in the article, that's not clickbait. That's actually a stream form of revenue that if you just trouble yourself to click X a couple of times and read the article, we actually can make a couple of pennies off of that, all right? So we're busting our tail for all these years doing things that we really don't like having to do just to make a living so we can turn the lights on in the studio and come in here and give you a free podcast. I mean, as far as I know,
Right.
nobody's ever had to subscribe to get my podcast, and I've been doing this for 10 years. But, we do this, and you're like, oh, you guys just run your mouth for a living. Well, it's a good job if you can get it, man. You know?
Can I interject here?
Please do.
Like you said, you went from so many views to a minuscule views. And I have to tell myself this all the time when I make videos, because I'll have videos that shoot up 2 million, 3 million views. And I'm like, yay, that's great. But then I'm so disappointed when I see the 10,000 views or the 7,000 views.
Yeah.
And I have to literally get on to myself and say, there's people that would die to be seen 7,000 times.
It's true.
And so I have to say that's just as worthy. I'm not in control of what the views are. And I know as soon as I post it within the first 5 minutes how many views that video is going to get. I can see it from the 5 minutes how quick it's climbing. I'm like, okay, this one's going to get 10,000 views. And I'll know within the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
I'll say this one's going to hit 50,000. I should not be able to know within the first 5 minutes of posting a video.
Yeah.
That means it's them, not me. But you still have to humble yourself sometimes when you get those 2 million views to say, I should count myself worthy to even be seen at all.
Yeah.
So that's why we do it. That's why you do it. That's why we all do it, because you never know when that 2 million views is going to hit.
You never know. and I used to be able to sit in the truck and do a rant video, give the Facebook poke, the whole. I used to do the poke, and within 5 minutes, I knew if it was going to get 1 million views that day.
Yep. You know.
I knew, because and my whole thing is, and we'll go back to the topic here. And again, I'm not telling you guys that Mark Zuckerberg has had some kind of fundamental change to his belief system. I think the guy's still a socialist. He's still a Marxist. But at the end of the day, he's a communist sympathizer. But at the end of the day, like I think Elon changed a good bit because he developed skin in the game because he was persecuted.
The market. He changed the market completely.
It changed it all. But I think Elon came around and threw his hat in the ring because he was persecuted. Joe Rogan did because he was persecuted. The Rock caught a little bit of that cancel culture, as you mentioned. But again, he's not the same even as in Elon or a Rogan. Some of the comedians that are out there, they've come around. Jeff Dye is a great comedian. He's become almost full-blown conservative when he wasn't political at all because he got persecuted. He got canceled. Shane Gillis got kicked off of Saturday Night Live. These guys have come out with a much more conservative voice because they got canceled or because they were persecuted. Mark Zuckerberg has not suffered any persecution. He should. Now, he got his ass embarrassed in front of Congress when he had to testify. But at the end of the day, he's making a business decision, and I'm willing to use that business decision to my advantage, to your advantage, as long as we can. Now, the proof is in the pudding. I will believe it when I see it. I'm not telling you guys to run over there and just carte blanche, just forget everything. Because, again, I've had my buddy Matt Murphy, former, Matt's been on the show. He's a good buddy of mine, retired Green Beret sniper. He's a bad dude. And he made a post today, and others have speculated. Does that mean I get my 4 canceled accounts back?
That's what I was thinking. Like, is this retroactive? Because they weren't doing anything illegal, and you say you openly admitted it was by accident?
Yeah. So people lost pictures of their kids and pictures of their mama and their reunions and their weddings, and you know what I mean? What were you going to say, Sky? I interrupted you.
No, it's like, is it retroactive? Because the excuse is that it was done accidentally. He even used the condition, if 1% was done accidentally, that's millions of people. The condition is if. He wouldn't have used the condition, if it was really 1%, which means it's far more than 1%, which means it's tens of millions of people that got banned or shadow banned or throttled or lost their accounts by mistake. But this is not retroactive where they get anything back. So I guess we got to look. We got to look at the good without just looking at the bad as well. Like, we have to say it's a blessing that this even exists at all. Yeah. Like, even words that say we're making a change, because I didn't even expect that for a very long time. So.
Well, I don't think Meta or Mark Zuckerberg, just out of the kindness of their heart, randomly decided to make this change. I think they did receive a lot of, bad press and a lot of hatred from the real American people who saw what was going on despite them denying it. And that's their persecution. That's them. The only thing that opened up their eyes is them being told over and over and over, you're making a mistake, you're making a mistake. People like Dana White, telling them, saying,
and the popular vote.
And the popular vote, exactly, yeah. They are kissing butt, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But there is a voice out there, multiple voices, I think, who let him know that what you were doing is wrong. He didn't just one day decide, you know what, we've been doing this bad thing on purpose. Let's fix it. Let's go. No, I don't think that that's what happened. I think that maybe genuinely he was trying to be optimistic with the current administration and trying to do what they said. But I think any normal person that's not, a lizard would understand that what he did was wrong. He should have understood that. Meta should have understood that early on, but he didn't. And now he's trying to make sure that he's safe in this upcoming administration by kissing butt. He's kissing butt.
I love that he said, the administration, things are changing and freedom of speech is coming back. I'm like, it never left.
No,
that
it
was
did
you.
Yeah, it did leave.
He did it. Exactly. He did it. But you can't make the excuse that it's coming back. No, you're the one that stopped it.
There's got to be a pop culture reference that I'm missing here, because it's going to hit me after we're done with the show today. But Mark Zuckerberg, he reminds me of that smarmy little punk who gets control. And by the way, people aren't after equality. They want control. The feminists, they're not after equality. They want control. Okay, the pro-Palestine people, they don't want equality, they want control. Mm-hmm. You pick your person. BLM was not after equality, they were after control. DEI, you're exactly right. Mm-hmm. So all of these things that become activists, they're not after equality, they're after control. Mark Zuckerberg had an element of control. When 51 federal agents told him, hey, you are not allowed to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop on social media, these people listened and they throttled anybody. Mark Zuckerberg would kick your ass off of Instagram like that if you posted that picture of Hunter Biden high as a kite in his sunglasses with the red scarf in his tighty-whitey underwear. I know, because I got a 30-day ban for it. I got a 30-day ban for posting the damn thing up there. So they knew exactly what they were doing. Well, now you got caught with your hand in the cookie jar, and you realize that 73% of Americans voted for Donald Trump, and Trump won the popular vote. Trump, popular vote. I
Rock and
almost saw,
roll.
I almost saw the gangster come out of sky when I did that.
Yeah.
Man, I'm throwing up gang signs. Take it easy there, Connor.
Popular vote, House, Senate, they know
All
they're in
of it.
trouble.
Oh,
They
yeah,
are
all
in
of it.
trouble.
And so
Well, that whole
he-
Section 230 is under risk, where you get the
That's
privileges
right.
of being private and public, which shouldn't be a thing.
That's right.
Yeah, I want to make one more point. You were talking about how they weren't wanting equality, they were wanting control. That's
Yeah.
exactly what the U.S. government did with their COVID experiment. Like, COVID was never as bad as they said it was,
Right.
but they amplified it to be this thing, not because they were trying to protect the American people, but because they were trying to control us.
Yeah.
And with that, they have something on Zuckerberg and all these, social media CEOs, and they have some control over them. And in the midst of that, they were able to use Zuckerberg to control you. And it's like, I don't know. There will be a movie on the 4 years that was 2020 through 2024, and it's
Yeah.
going to be. I actually probably won't see it because I don't want to relive it. But it's
I was
movie-worthy.
thinking that exact same thing just this week, Scott. Royce, that's a great point. I got to read this. Striker J says, Chad, no, brother, you nailed it on this comment. He says they got caught. He said, no, they got caught with their hands in the Diddy jar. So now they're sucking to stay in the game. And brother, I think there's a lot of.
Do you think Trump leverage from all of the releasing gets him to say you got to let people speak? Do you think that's part of it? Leverage of knowing the crimes with Zuck, maybe with the Epstein
I will
thing.
say this: my gut instinct would say I hope he didn't do that. Because again, if you are on the Diddy list or the Epstein list, there should be no amnesty. There should be no
Right.
I'm more than happy to forego my Facebook platform,
For
and
you
I
to
will
go to
stay,
prison.
I'll stay
Yeah.
throttled for these people who, what did Diddy do and what did Diddy not do? Did Diddy diddle littles? I got a feeling Diddy did. So I want Diddy going to prison and everybody that diddle littles to go to prison with him. So I'll stay throttled if that's the
Your
agreement.
consequence shouldn't be us speaking freely.
Yeah, I listen. I'll forego my $500 a month off of Facebook, that might come my way in ad revenue. I'll forego that if I know that these pinheads that went to an island and did stuff with kids, or went to a mansion in Beverly Hills and did God knows what in the baby oil and drugs, I'll gladly take the throttling. So I hope that Trump didn't do that. I hope there's no amnesty in that situation. So you're right, Striker J. As usual, that's a great That's a great deal. I think these guys are doing everything they can to cover their tails, man, and try to say it. So we'll see. I need to talk to you guys about Patriot Mobile in a minute. But I will tell you this: we'll see what happens. Got a message though. From so many people, got messages from so many people who got some great questions about this, and we'll see. That's all you could say. Graham, he said it'll take a couple of months probably for this thing fully to be implemented. I don't know if it's going to take that long. He might be right. Graham's usually right, and I'm wrong. But we'll see. We'll see. Our friends over at Patriot Mobile, they always got those great deals going on. They are America's only Christian conservative wireless company, and they make sure that your hard-earned dollars when you pay your cell phone bill aren't going to these crazy Diddy-supporting wild organizations out there that are after control in the name of equality. So make sure that you are supporting Patriot Mobile. You like your cell phone, you like your coverage, you like your phone number. Keep all of it because they're using the same towers as the big three. So you're not going to lose coverage by switching over to Patriot Mobile, and they will help you if you need a new phone, need a new number, need to keep all the same stuff. They'll sell you a phone. They'll give you a phone. They got all kind of stuff going on. I don't know what kind of deals that guy got going on, but I bet you could call them up, probably talk them out of a phone at some point in time. But if you call them at 972-PATRIOT and get them on the phone and tell them Chad sent you, use my name, tell them Chad, or go over to patriotmobile.com/Chad. and see the deals that they got going on. They got some incredible stuff. Switching has never been easier. Patriot Mobile, they are great folks. PatriotMobile.com/Chad. Call them on the phone. They got free activation, and they take care of our, they got the free activation for our veterans, our first responder heroes. So go over there and check them out. See what they got. I promise you they have a data plan and a price point that will fit your budget. And these are the kind of guys I'm talking about. These are people who make decisions based off what they truly believe. This is what they truly believe. These are Glenn and the guys over at Patriot Mobile. These are their convictions. Royce, Sky, let me see your beautiful faces again. Royce, you picked up a couple of followers yesterday, didn't you?
I did. I got like 40 followers on Instagram. It was kind of fun. I'm not big. I don't post content specifically to my Instagram too much, but I got like 3,000 followers on there, so
yeah,
it was fun. But I really like X. So if you want to follow me, go check me out on X at Royce Chamberlain.
Royce Chamberlain. Sky, where all can they find you, buddy?
I prefer Instagram. I like the creativity of Instagram, so this news is great for me. But it is the truth.skycorbin, because I'm more visual than I am just typing. And my birthday is on January 20th.
All right.
So I get a good present. And if y'all want to give me a present, go follow my Instagram and I'll consider us even and square.
January 20th is Inauguration Day.
Martin Luther King Day, too.
And
Jeffrey Epstein's birthday.
I think I've. Oh, wow.
Is that real? Oh my gosh!
It's Party Foul Steve's Sweet Tea, Tony, Steve's wife. That's her birthday as well. I don't, Royce. I don't think I'm going to the inauguration. I think I'm going to go to Cat Turd's party in Nashville with John Rich.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah,
John Rich is great, man. I got to hang out with him one time. He's a good dude.
John's awesome. Sky, if I come over that way, buddy, we'll holla. We'll holla.
Please do.
We'll work it out. I haven't made my decision yet. I might sit my fat ass right here at home and watch it on TV.
Those are always the best times.
They really are. Sky, you've lost some weight, dude. I mean, you're in the gym hard, dude. You've leaned up and all that kind of stuff.
I have, yeah, but I'm putting on 20 pounds probably by March.
Yeah, but you're muscling up.
Yeah. I took a little break.
You don't have fat. You're all jacked up. So
no, I've never been able to get fat.
No,
I've tried.
I've never been able to get skinny. I've tried. But go check out Sky's song. Follow him over on Instagram, MAGA Anthem. Pretty awesome, dude. It was fantastic. And go follow these boys. And have you got that thing out where music's offered, like on the platforms yet?
I'm going to. Yeah,
okay,
good. I'm going to remix it a little bit clearer that's not for Instagram. And
I got it.
Spotify.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Great job on that. And, okay, so the boys, thank you, Sky. We get you back. And also, Royce, give me the screen. Guys, go give me those ratings, 5 stars, and, of course, a review. Like and share this episode. Tell Mom and Pop about it. Tell all the brothers and sisters. Tell them I love them and tell them to come watch the show. Check out our sponsors, Patriot Mobile, as well as My Patriot Supply. You can go to patriotmobile.com/Chad or Prepare with Chad. Make sure you're checking us out every morning, 9, 8 Central, Dear America. Our buddy Todd has got the hot seat is back tonight. He's at 5 o'clock Central on our Rumble channels right here, Dear America Media. We're doing a great thing. We appreciate your support. Thank you for tuning in, checking it out. Go to where those podcasts are offered. Share that thing out there, man. Let's boost up the audio numbers and all the stuff. Drive everything up the rankings. In the meantime, I'm praying for you. Join me over on Facebook, where the prayers haven't been throttled. I'm putting them on my Chad Prather verified page every morning. And some motivational deep thoughts late at night, okay? So come over there, join me. Might inspire you, might encourage you. And I'll be in Louisville, Kentucky this weekend. They're not letting me bail out in spite of the ice and snow. So get your tickets at watchchad.com where all the fun stuff is. And next week, I'm in Fredericksburg, Texas. And then we're headed to Waco and Granbury. And we're going to be in Austin, Texas. So lots of fun to be had out there. Get those tickets. Come hang with me, watchchad.com. In the meantime, until tomorrow, I love you. God bless you, and I'll talk to you then. Bye.